good baseball. I was watched every game just to keep up with everybody and see how it's going, and hopefully I can fall right into the mix.
It is a picture-perfect night in the Berg, and PNC Park is the place to be. Just a gorgeous night for baseball as the Pirates play the Milwaukee Brewers in Game 2 of this rain-shortened two-game series. Hi again, everyone. Along with Steve Blass, I'm Tim Neverett. We're on the corner of Bill Mazeroski Way and General Robinson with Honus Wagner looking over our shoulder, making sure. Yeah, he's just trying to make sure we get it right tonight. But some different things for the Pirates tonight. Pedro Alvarez is out of the lineup. Steve Pearce will play third base. Matt Diaz hitting cleanup, and Pedro getting a night off.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect time, Tim, really. He's been playing a lot, a little unsteady at third base, getting caught in some in-between hops. The bat is not responding, so Clint Hurley is going to give him basically a breather tonight. I think the timing is good.
Another change behind the plate. Chris Snyder has been added to the active roster after a rehab stint in Single-A Bradenton. He'll start tonight.
Yeah, he's had enough at bats, so they bring him right up. No time that AAA needed. Jaramillo is gone. Now you got a tandem of Snyder and Domet. I think it's a good fit. Ryan's a switch hitter. He can play all over the place. So we're down to two catchers and a lot of versatility for Ryan Domet. So I think we're square behind the plate for the time being.
Whenever the Pirates play the Brewers, they've got to watch out for the bat of Prince Fielder. He did him in on the 6th last night with a home run, but the matchup, Paul versus the Prince, Mulholland decidedly has the advantage in this matchup.
Yeah, don't change a thing, Paul. You've just been fine, but don't make any mistakes. Fielder, as he proved last night, can hurt you in a minute.
It's the Brewers and the Pirates coming up from PNC Park as the Bucks get set to wrap up their first homestand of 2011. Stick around, lineups and first pitch coming up.
Sponsored by Barrel Automotive. Barrel.com, definitely worth the click. And by Sonic, America's drive-in. It's new, it's better, it's the new Sonic good. Let's go Bucks!
Well, you couldn't ask for a better evening for baseball here on the North Shore.
Spring has sprung. Gorgeous night. About time.
This game is about to spring into action as Paul Maholm gets set to deliver the first pitch to Ricky Weeks. And we are underway at PNC Park with strike one call. .67 degrees tonight, just perfect.
I like it. Numbers for Paul Maholm, making his third start, 18th career start against the Brewers. No stranger to Milwaukee.
Paul loved to come back strong after his last outing. Pirates start tonight 5-6, Brewers 6-5.
Yeah, he really wasn't awful. 5 2/3 innings into the 6th inning, 3 earned runs given up, 5 total.
2-1 to Ricky Weeks.
Get a chance to take a look at Ricky Weeks and his numbers. We talked about Paul and the new battery mate. We were talking about Chris Snyder back with the Pirates after mauling opponents down with the Marauders in Bradenton for a few games.
2-1 is a base hit into left field, and Weeks aboard to start the game. Let's take a look at the rest of the Brewers lineup sent out by first-year manager Ron Roenicke. Gomez to follow Weeks, then Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder. The 3-4 hitters have been tearing it up, 342 and 385 respectively. Casey McGee, Yuniesky Betancourt, Eric Almonte, Jonathan Lucroy, and Randy Wolf. Here is Gomez. Carlos Gomez hitting under 200 right now, 194. Center fielder. Tries to bunt his way on. That's a foul ball. Snyder was going right down to second base. Yeah, you mentioned Snyder and the job that he did. Never left spring training. Stayed right there in Bradenton with the single-A Marauders. And he was a one-man Marauder one night.
Yeah, 6 RBIs in that 13-0 game that the Marauders played down at McKechnie Field. Or I'm not sure if they were on the road or not, but it was 3 ribbies wherever they were. Or 6 ribbies.
6 of them. Played Port Charlotte.
Sand crabs.
Stone crabs.
Stone crabs.
0-1 pitch coming from Maholm. Weeks off at first. And there's the throw over, and pretty close. That move froze Weeks for a second. I don't believe that he believed Paul was coming over until the last moment.
Well, left-handers can pretty much do whatever they want to. And a little accelerated heartbeat for Ricky Weeks. How about the AGH cam? How much fun is that to look at? That is a treat. I mean, it's a treat just to watch it, because you know it's going to slow everything down, and you are the judge. You're the umpire. Neat stuff.
0-1 to Carlos Gomez. Steve Pearce at third base, even with the bag.
Gomez can fly. You've got to be careful that he might drop a ball.
Shows bunt. It's outside 1-1. So Pearce in the lineup tonight. Pedro Alvarez getting a night off. And this is one of the reasons that Steve Pearce played third base in spring training. That's his natural position from his college days at the University of South Carolina. Played third, then played some first base as well. One season at first, didn't make a single error all year. 1-1. And a ground ball that is wide of third base. Look at this. As far as these Florida guys, Matt Diaz batting cleanup for the first time with the Pirates. He told me prior to the game around the batting cage that he would do it occasionally with the Braves, but doesn't do it all that often. And the first career start at third for Pearce, who had some time to work on it in spring training. Pirates got him some extra reps out there in a pair of B games that were going on.
Very versatile Steve Pearce. By the way, as Snyder makes a nice block. The Lakeland boys from Lakeland, Florida, they're up in that neck of the woods.
Well, it's McCutcheon is from that region.
Fort Meade.
And you've got Pearce and Diaz. And they're hitting 3, 4, and 5 in the order consecutively. So Lakeland, Florida's region represented here in the Pirates lineup tonight. 2-2 pitch, and Gomez caught a piece of it, and so did Snyder. He caught the whole thing, and that is a strikeout.
Well, you talk about versatility. Steve Pearce can play all over the place. Ryan Doumit can do different things for you. So when you're talking about bodies that can be used around different places, that is a real bonus. That's a big thing for Clint Hurdle, knowing that two guys can do 5 or 6 different things. That's a plus. It's a luxury for a manager.
Ryan Braun to face Paul Maholm. Weeks at first base, 1 out. Braun singled and scored in that 4-run 6th inning last night. And what a game last night. You realize that innings 1 through 5 from their start to their completion took just 50 minutes.
They were flying. I mean, those two pitchers were dealing last night, Markham and Correa. And all of a sudden, you looked up and it was a 5 or 4-run Milwaukee lead. All of a sudden, it just happened. Now, if you've played any poker, you know that the cards have no memory. So these numbers that you're going to see Paul Maholm has against Prince Fielder, that's fine, but that's history now. So you've just got to take tonight as a new start. You can't look back and say it's going to be automatic because I've gotten the best of Fielder in the past. But, first things first, he's got to get on the other side of Ryan Braun.
3 out of 42, 13 punch outs, so 71 the average.
Wonderful numbers, but this is a new slate.
1-0 pitch, and Braun takes low. 2 balls and no strike. They're different with Braun. Braun is 10 out of 30. He's got a home run off of Paul. Paul struck him out 4 times, 30 at bats, so 333 average against Maholm for Ryan Braun.
Yeah, well, he's one of the marquee players in the National League. Make no doubt about it. This 1-2 punch, pretty potent.
Pitch is in there for the called strike. Well, you talk about the 1-2 punch, and heading into the games last night, an interesting number. Fielder and Braun combined, this is before last night's game, 377, 6 home runs, 19 runs batted in. The rest of the Brewers combined, 227, 6 home runs, 19 runs batted in.
There you have it. They're hot.
2-1 pitch, and Braun takes in the dirt, 3-1. Good block by Snyder. That keeps Ricky Weeks where he is. And Weeks can run. Ricky Weeks is a dangerous player at the top of the order. He's got power. He's got the combination of power and speed. Ron Roenicke likes him up there. Roenicke in his first year as skipper. He's been in the minor leagues with the Dodgers in Albuquerque, AAA.
I think Weeks is taking off here.
3-1. And that is high ball 4 and a walk to Ryan Braun. This is dangerous territory when you walk a guy in front of Prince Fielder. So the updated numbers: 385, 342, 3-4, 14 runs batted in.
No wonder they're smiling.
Right now, forced play is on in the infield. Even the infield fly rule is in effect if you're looking for things right here.
You don't see too many ground balls off the bat of Prince Fielder. He's one of those left-hand power guys that likes to lift the ball. Your prototype double play candidate.
And he drives one toward right center field. That's going to get down and past Matt Diaz. Just the 4th career hit Prince Fielder has off of Paul Maholm. Weeks comes in to score, and it's a 1-0 Brewers lead. Another run batted in for Prince Fielder.
So he stays hot. And the Pirates continue, as they have been on this homestand, to give up first inning runs and early deficits. Matt Diaz coming in, that ball just had too much overspin, sinks down and lets everybody to continue on.
Well, Fielder had 14 runs batted in over his last 6 games. The only player in Brewers history to do that or more over a 6-game stretch, Robin Yount at 15 over 6 games. Now Prince has 15 over 6+. Casey McGee,
and if I'm not mistaken,
0-1 count on him.
Mr. Yount's in the Hall of Fame.
You are not mistaken.
Well, Paul needs that ground ball. He's got a right-hand batter up, and he will still continue to try to get on the hands of right-handers, but still deal out away with that sinker to try to get the ground ball.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-2 to McGee. Runners at the corners. Still 1 out. 1 run is in. A walk to Ryan Braun, and he went first to third on the base hit by Fielder. Little infield looking for a ground ball. They'd love to get 2 here and get out of it. 0-2 pitch. The dirt bounces away from Snyder, and way down the baseline was Braun challenging Snyder, but no throw.
You know, I think I recall right in your interview with Clint Hurdle pregame on the radio last night, he was talking about the free passes that Pirate pitchers are giving up, and here again you got an example of a walk helping to create this first run for the Brewers in the first inning.
And he had a point too. He said, you know, people in the stands like to yell, throw strikes, and that's not something they're going to coach. And this one is hit high and deep down the left field line, and it is foul. Wow, just hooked foul. But just more on that point, he said at the major league level, you're not going to coach throwing strikes because these guys know they're supposed to throw strikes. Got a strike there.
This was very dangerous. This came close to being a 3-run shot. We saw enough of that program last night. As you see the pitch shown on the Range Resources strike zone, just hooking at the last moment. The 3-run home run, Earl Weaver idolized it. It's still a pretty potent weapon.
2 balls, 2 strikes now to McGee.
And I'll tell you, if Chris Snyder wanted to stretch his back out, he's doing it here in the top of the first inning. A lot of balls down in the dirt. He's had to get down, get that big body in front of.
Snyder has had to catch 20 pitches already from Paul Maholm this inning. Paul would like to be much more efficient. 1 out, 2-2 pitch.
Close. See if we can pick something up from the Range Resources strike zone. Well, you can see the catcher catching it down near the ground, but that ball is not near the ground when it crosses home plate.
Good shot there. Shows it's at the bottom of the strike zone. Throw to first and fielder back. Major League Baseball. News today regarding the possible future expansion of instant replay in the 2012 season.
I hope not.
I know you're really excited about it. You're looking into it.
Yeah.
Chopper foul at the third baseline. They want to use it on trapped balls in the outfield, apparently. That's part of the story. And also fair or foul calls.
And I don't think you can ever emphasize the human aspect of baseball that involves the umpires, involves arguments, and in my mind does not embrace technology to that degree. Part of the charm of baseball is that human stuff.
And ball 4. The bases are full of Brewers here in the top of the first inning. Certainly not the start Paul Maholm envisioned. To walk 2 this inning, giving up 2 base hits. 1 run is in.
Not the kind of mix you want, not the total you want in the first inning. 22 pitches. Last night we were in the bottom of the third by now.
Yeah, we were, weren't we?
It was flying.
And we were trying not to look at our watches either. Yuniesky Betancourt batting 6th.
If you ever wanted a ground ball to Neil Walker.
And Paul delivers another strike. How about that? That's the souvenir.
First inning souvenir. Yeah.
That's our
Root Sports showing you the fans.
It's our mobile camera
game.
going through the stands, bringing you angles and places you haven't seen. There's a drive to left field. Braun tagging up, caught by Tabata. Here comes the throw, and it is 2-0 Milwaukee. Sacrifice fly for Betancourt, and his 3rd run driven in this season. And defensively behind Maholm, Tabata, McCutchen, and Diaz. Now Pierce playing 3rd with Cedeno. At short, Walker and Overbay on the right side. Snyder behind the plate. So Pierce and Snyder new in the lineup tonight defensively. First career start at third for Steve Pearce.
And so far has been flawless.
Hasn't had anything hit to him either.
Well, yeah,
details.
You make a point.
It's a good start. Pedro getting the night off tonight. And when Clint Hurdle was pressed as to why, it's a combination of things. Pedro has not been hitting the ball very well. He's been striking out more than Clint would like him to at this point. Just sometimes you need a day off. Get the confidence back, get the swing back. Pedro was out for early work today, working in the cage well before many had arrived to the ballpark. Eric Almonte, 0-1. Now snuffing at 2.
You know, you don't want to throw 30 pitches in the first inning, but you know what? Life is life. And, you know, if you got to throw 30 and get that third out, that's the way it is. And you go out and try to throw less and be more efficient the second inning. I mean, you can't take it away. This pitch count in the first inning is there. That's the way it is. Deal with it.
Almonte strikes out. 2 runs come in on 2 hits. 2 men left on base through a half inning here at PNC Park. It's the Brewers 2, Pirates coming to bat on Root Sports. Today, Clint Hurdle's lineup presented by Toyota. Tabata leading off, Walker in the 2 spot. Then go to the cleanup spot, Matt Diaz. Then Steve Pearce hitting 5th. Lyle Overbay moves down to the 6th spot. Chris Snyder hitting 7th. Cedeno 8th. Then Paul Mahal, the pitcher, batting 9th, facing the left-hander Randy Wolf.
Yeah, the veteran, 34-year-old crafty left-hander Randy Wolf. 114 major league wins. Out of Southern California originally. 6 foot and 205 pounds. 13th major league season for Randy Wolf, who back in 1997 was drafted by the Philadelphia Phillies. 2nd rounder. Yeah, he's been around. This is major league start number 312.
Tabata will take a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jose had a 10-game hitting streak end yesterday, but he did it by taking a walk, and it was an unselfish move on the part of Tabata. And something that really shouldn't go unnoticed, because some guys who are streaking might want to get that hit, keep it going. But he knew the Pirates needed a base runner last night and walked twice, actually. So he didn't have any problem taking a walk.
Randy Wolf's range is going to be up around 86, 87 miles an hour, 88 on that last one. He won't top out at much more than that, but he, like Markham, when he gets in a groove, Markham last night was so impressive. He'll get you out in front a little bit. He'll get you back waiting, and then hopefully he'll do a little bit of that. Give the Pirates a chance to answer in the bottom of the 1st.
Leadoff walk. So far this year, prior to appearances, the opposition hitting .396 against Randy Wolf. He's also given up 4 home runs already.
But He really got knocked around in his first start against Cincinnati, and then against the Cubs, 6 innings, just a couple of earned runs. He was victimized by some shoddy defense, as they like to say.
Guy might be texting you later in the game, Steve, so on your toes.
Okay.
Neil Walker, switch hitter, batting right-handed.
Like Paul Maholm, this is Randy Wolf's 18th career start against the Pirates. Paul starting his 18th against the Brew Crew. And Randy Wolf been very successful against the Bucks, 8-3 in his career against Pittsburgh. Had his best winning year, 2003, for the Phillies when he won 16. Last year, a 13-game winner for the Brew Crew.
Fouled back by Neil, a count 0-2.
They'd been around a lot of time with Philadelphia, and then went over to the Dodgers, San Diego, stopped on his way in Houston. Another year with the Dodgers, 2009, and then Milwaukee. His first season with Milwaukee last season, those 13 wins.
Walker batting left-handed last night against the righty Sean Markham, and the Brewers employing more of a infield shift against him as a left-handed hitter, not so much as a right-handed hitter. 0-2. There goes Tabata. Pitches high, throw it down, not in time, and that is stolen base number 6 for Jose Tabata.
And he guessed right. Randy Wolf does a good job and has picked off a lot of base runners, but if you guess right, as you might do against left-hand pitchers, and you're convinced he's going to home plate, you can get that kind of jump. That's a massive jump. It's just a matter of guessing right, and Jose Tabata guessed correctly. Number 6.
Jose now has moved into a tie with Arizona's Willie Bloomquist, trailing just Matt Kemp of the Dodgers. Kemp with 7.
I need to get Neil Walker going too, as well as Pedro Alvarez. Neil Walker leads the league in strikeouts. I mean, it's early, and Neil still a very respectable average after getting off to that real good start first road trip. But, he's getting a little dose of what National League pitchers are going to be doing, adjusting to him too. It's not just a one-way street. You adjust to National League pitchers. They're looking at stuff, trying to figure you out too.
Brewers defensively. McGee at short, at third, Betancourt at short, Weeks and Fielder on the right side. Lucro behind the plate, and Braun, Gomez, and Almonte in right field. It's been kind of a revolving door in right field for the Brewers with Corey Hart still out. This one down the line and foul. All out of play. Stay 1-2. Corey Hart had an oblique strain. He's been here working out and taking swings in the cage. They'll send him out on a minor league rehab stint before he rejoins the Brewers. A few well-dressed fans here tonight.
I'll tell you, that is an outfit.
Popped it up. Fielder wants it. Prince will take it, and there is 1 out.
Guys like Sean Markham last night and Randy Wolf, they won't dazzle you, but all of a sudden you look up and it might be in the 5th or 6th or 7th inning, and you got your batters up there with awkward swings, and they're not hard throwers, but they've got you out in front a little bit, they got you back on your heels a little bit, and if they get in that kind of rhythm, they can run through a lineup very, very efficiently.
Well, they show you the difference between throwing and pitching.
Yep.
It's a big difference. A lot of guys can get out there and throw, but can you pitch? Pitch outside, ball 1-2, Andrew McCutchen.
Little floater there, 66 miles an hour. So if he throws a fastball now 86, that's a 20-mile-an-hour difference, and it looks like a freight train coming at you.
Wolf ready on the 1-0. And that was 89.
Now that looks like it's about 99 after 66.
Wolf changing speeds. He'll move in, he'll move out.
He'll give you that look-alike countenance of, what is it, Ronnie Howard?
Yeah,
Opie.
right. A little, maybe they were separated at birth. What do you think? Well, it could be Ron Howard in a baseball cap without a beard.
Yeah, especially when you get the straight on. Now I'm going to have Andy Griffith come out and talk to him.
Got to get the signs right. You could just call him in.
That's a serious Brewers fan there.
Looks like he's doing a guest shot on a radio show, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's famous, I guess. 1-1. Kutch off the handle and out of play. Ball and 2 strikes to Kutch. Kutch with 2 homers, pair of doubles, 4 extra base hits on the season so far. And 3 out of 13 with runners in scoring position. He's got Jose Talbot out there at second base. Jose with a leadoff walk and stolen base number 6. Here comes the 1-2. He struck out looking. Ouch.
I think Andrew had a look at that previous hat. That's what threw him off. Here's the Range Resources strike zone, and it's looking good there. And as Randy Wolf delivers that pitch right on the corner, and LaCroix will frame it, hold it, sell it to the umpire. Home plate, Adrian Johnson buying the sales pitch.
Matt Diaz hitting in the cleanup spot. Behind 0-1. Said he did it in a number of day games with Atlanta. So Brian McCann will get some day games off. He was the cleanup hitter for the Braves. And said he'd jump in there. Bobby Cox would throw him in there in that 4th spot in the order. 0-1. That's 1 ball and 1 strike to Diaz. Diaz got the start against the right-handed pitching Sean Markham last night. Talking about that right field platoon with he and Garrett Jones. Jones was actually in the lineup when the game was rained out 2 nights ago. And Clint Hurdle thought better of it and put the right-hander Diaz in against the right-hander Markham. It was a pop-up to Weeks. Right-handers have had more success against Markham. That's why he went that way. So we're through a full inning. It's 2-0 Milwaukee.
Matt Diaz, you see, Randy Wolf got so far in on the hands, and look at that shot. The bat splintering all over the place. More great looks at Major League action from the AGH cam. That is so much fun, except not for Matt Diaz there. Cost him an out, cost him a bat.
He's got to go get a new piece of wood. Strike delivered to start the top of the 2nd. Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher. It'll be Lucroy, then Wolf, the pitcher, then the top of the order again, Ricky Weeks.
You know, Tim, you're talking about maybe Major League Baseball looking at more expansion of replays and things. How about my request of showing the entire game on the AGH cam? Everything. I don't care where it is. Yeah.
It'll take you 10 hours to get through it, though. Because of the speed. It's slow motion.
It's all right.
It's like really slow motion.
I don't go on the road. I mean, I can do that all day.
You get the off day. Yeah.
Now there it is. I mean, that's a pretty impressive looking lens there.
Yeah. Rick Rhodes had to go to special AGH cam school to learn how to operate it. No, he says no.
That's different from
it was a good story, Rick. Just go with it. Ground ball to Pierce. And Pierce has his first infield assist tonight. 1 down.
It's a little different lens than I have on my throwaway Kodak. It's in that aluminum foil thing I get at the drugstore.
You know, they have digital cameras now, Steve. You get your film developed still?
No, I just take the whole thing back in. You just hand them the camera back.
It's like film.
$9 you give them the camera back, and it's a miracle. You don't get pictures back. And you get pictures, real pictures in your hand. The Parrot, off to a good season start. He's always off to a good start.
Maybe the most photographed foul there is. See, now that camera there, Steve, you don't need film. You don't need to bring it to anybody. You just take the pictures, and they're there instantly.
On your on your computer?
No, on your camera. You can look at them on your camera. You can put them on your computer. You can get them printed off. Ground ball to short.
Get out of my face with that stuff.
Cedeno throws him out. And there was 2 down. Just these modern conveniences, just trying to make your life easy.
Yeah, but, you know, it's nice to have a picture from your camera on paper. Here, I'm going to show you my phone. Take a look at my picture.
That's how it's done. 7 of 9 first pitch strikes. That's been a positive for Paul. After that 30-pitch first inning, now he's got 2 outs on 4 pitches.
Not all that bad to get on the other side of Randy Wolf with his 5 career home runs.
So here is Weeks, singled and scored in the first. A lot of people just use their phones to take pictures, but
isn't the phone for talking to people though
primarily, but not anymore. Look now, see, there's it's right on the camera, Steve. You don't need to take it in and wait for it to be developed. It's right there. Weeks right at McCutcheon. Good quick inning for Paul Maholmes. He gets the Brewers in just 8 pitches. You're watching the Pirates on Root Sports. Pierce 2-0 after an inning and a half at PNC Park. Pierce pops the first pitch up. Foul ground. Lucroy, the catcher, makes the catch. And Steve Pierce, a very quick out. He's had better luck against Randy Wolf. Our PNC achievement, the very first Major League home run hit by Steve Pierce, came off of Randy Wolf in Houston against the Astros, September 9, 2008. And, well, a silent treatment, and then they just couldn't hold it anymore.
Adam LaRoche coming over on See Adam LaRoche again when the Nationals
right.
come on into PNC Park.
Steve Pearce got himself out there with a first pitch foul ball pop up. Steve on his first opening day roster. Was he excited when he realized he was going to make the ball club late in spring training? It's been a battle for him. Last year he thought he was going to have significant big league time and then had the knee and ankle injuries, subsequent surgery. Lyle Overbay hitting in the 6th spot. And ask yourself why. Takes a step. The reason is Clint Hurdle wants to break up the lefties and righties. So
Diaz and Pearce, right-hand batters.
Wanted to have Overbay down a little lower in the order. Get those right-handers attacking Wolf early in the order.
Well, let's see. You got Tabata, right-handed. Walker's going to hit right-handed. Andrew, Diaz, Pearce.
Those 5.
Yep. Yeah. Basically, what, 8 out of 9?
Right. He wasn't going to, I mean, where else are you going to put him? So he wanted to move him down just a little bit.
Get after that sandwich.
And Overbay down on strikes. 2 down. Second strikeout for Wolf. Chris Snyder get his first at bat.
Resource strike zone right down Broadway. A little cutter, cut fastball.
Randy Wolf, pair of punch outs early. Now Snyder. And he will take a strike. Chris was slowed in spring training with a sore lower back. Didn't make the trip north of Chicago to open the season. And just activated off the 15-day disabled list today. Jason Jaramillo being sent down to Indianapolis. 1-1 pitch. 2-1.
You talk about Steve Pearce being happy to be out there. Chris Snyder. You know you know what it feels like to Chris Snyder? I bet 2 months of spring training, and that's
easily
more than enough.
3-1 to Snyder. Chris came over from the Diamondbacks last year, along with Pedro Siriaco, who's a AAA. A deal that sent a handful of Pirates to Arizona. There's a bouncer to short. Yuniesky Betancourt throw off the line, but Prince tags him out. The Pirates done in order. We're through 2 full. 2-0 Milwaukee.
We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Now this day in Pirates history, April 14th, 1993, rookie Al Martin had his first career 4-hit game, and Andy Van Slyke had a career high 5 runs batted in And the Pirates' 11-7 win at San Diego. It's the day automotive for this day in Pirates history. Gomez with a single up the middle.
You're going to have to keep an eye on him with his speed. So you got number 28 on the mound. Al Martin wore number 28.
Anybody else you know? 28?
Yeah. I found number 28.
Steve Blass, number 28.
Yep.
You know, I made a suggestion.
Had to move from it because it was 23 when I first came.
Did you just kind of fill it in, make it 28?
Yeah, basically.
You know, I was in Butler, in downtown Butler in the winter. We had a winter caravan luncheon there, and I suggested to the folks there that making Route 28 the Steve Blass Highway wouldn't be a bad idea. What do you think of that?
Yeah. It's already halfway there, you know, yeah. Route 8. Yeah,
sure. Well, that's the Willie Stargell Parkway, you call that.
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
so
add the 2 in front.
It's my way home. I take the Stargell to the Blast, the Blast to the Stargell. Of course, the Blast is under construction. It's just terrible to drive on.
Yeah, well.
So now's the appropriate time to name it after.
Yeah.
Here's Ryan Braun.
There should be a clever line to that. Yeah, work in progress.
It'll be a nice road when they finish it.
Yeah. Well, the Lord's not finished with me either. Yeah.
0-1 is a ground ball wide of third. Nothing in two.
Still work to be done.
They've named highways after ball players.
Yeah. Pete Rose Way in Cincinnati. There's a short highway there.
It's Ted Williams Way right behind Green Monster.
What do you got? Mazeroski?
Mazeroski out here. Sure. Was General Robinson a ball player?
Could have been.
No balls and 2 strikes. That's the count to Ryan Braun as Gomez jumps back to first.
But near Willie Mays Street in San Francisco, Willie Mays Boulevard or Willie Mays Square.
0-2. That is a ground ball to short. Cedeno flips to Walker for 1, and boy, what a slide. Walker trying to hang in there and make that turn, but probably better he didn't let that ball go. Gomez got the better of him there.
Yeah, not sharply hit by the time Ronnie gets it. Gomez, we talked about his speed. He comes in, not spikes first. Comes to take him out of the double play, and does.
One of the hazards of being one of the pivot men in the middle.
You got to take the hit. And you know it's coming.
Neil worked a lot with Maz in spring training about bag play, turning the 2.
And holding his ground and not having get over the bag and kind of anchor there instead of having your momentum taking you on the shortstop side of second base. That's no good. Go over there, get squared away, and you know the minute you deliver the ball or at the same time you're going to take the shot. Just concentrate on getting rid of it.
What we just saw with Neil opening his mouth, he's signaling over to Ronnie Cedeno. See if he does it here.
Yep.
That is, as they're telling each other who's going to cover.
Might be looking at pitch selection too.
Right there. Open mouth means you got it.
Okay.
And if his mouth is closed, it means I got it. So as you see one guy with the mouth open, the other guy will acknowledge with the mouth closed.
Hard to imagine that Neil Walker is going to go over and cover on a ball hit to Paul Mahone. He's just simply got too much room to cover.
2-1 to Prince Fielder. Fielder got a rare base hit off Mahone. Drove in a run.
Like you said, the Cards have no memory.
That's right.
You got a ball game.
You hit it right, but he still has a few more at bats too.
Yep, and still good numbers.
Fouled off last night. He had a big fly in the 6th inning after we saw 5 very well pitched innings. Kevin Correa hung one up to him.
And that's all strength. That's all strength. 90% of your major league batters hit that ball, it's going to be caught on the warning track. That's just the strength of Prince Fielder. He is that strong.
Two runner goes, swing and a miss, strike 3, throw down, and Braun is safe.
massive jump, as did Jose Tabata. Both Tabata and Braun guessing that the commitment was going to be made by the respective pitchers to go to home plate.
Ryan Braun's first steal in 2011.
You know, what we hear from the Milwaukee people too is that Prince Fielder is hitting the ball to the opposite field a lot, and that spells trouble for National League pitchers. You would rather have a power guy that just commits to pulling the ball. When he starts spraying the ball all over the place, it makes it that much more difficult to pitch to him.
Ball 1 to Casey McGee.
And he gave Paul Maholm quite a battle. Paul had to throw a lot of pitches to McGee first time up, and eventually lost him on ball 4.
McGee hitting .333 with runners in scoring position this year. And there's a backhanded play by Ronnie Cedeno. Long throw, and he got him. And nothing across for the Brewers. 1 hit and 1 left. 2-0 Milwaukee. You're watching Bucks baseball on Root Sports. Trying to get a run on Root Sports, trailing Milwaukee 2-0, heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Steve Blass, I'm Tim Never. Lacey Collins is here with us as well tonight, and Ronnie Cedeno takes the first pitch from Randy Wolf for ball 1. First time up for Ronnie, hitting .167. Trying to get off the interstate here. Interstate is I-67 for him. Get back over 200 and soon. 1-1. And he's got himself a base hit. A leadoff single for Cedeno. Let's check in with Lacey Collins. Lacey.
Well, guys, I kind of stumbled into the all-you-can-eat section, and I found my friend Tyler here. I didn't know what exactly he was working on, but how about this? Root for our Pirates. Now, as you can tell, I think he's been distracted by the peanuts and hot dogs he can get up here. So we're going to check back at him a little later, but he's working on his pennant notch, if you can see. Truly official here. So I'm going to give him a little time to start working on that. We got to perfect the Root for our Pirates poster. We'll check back here a little later.
He's got that down pretty well. Paul Maholm puts the sacrifice bunt down. And now a man at second base. That's the Root red right there. First pennant notch on the tee looks good. Colors inside the lines.
Yeah, work in progress. Steady hand. So that sacrifice bunt, that play going from 1-1 to 1 to 1 to 3 as Randy Wolf finally got a handle on that bunt from Paul Maholm.
On down, Tabata trying to get aboard. 1 ball and no strikes. He has been on base in every game he's played in this season, one way or another.
We talked about Randy Wolf giving up 4 home runs so far in his first 2 starts.
Tabata fouls this one back.
In 34 starts last year, gave up 29. He'll throw up some taters. I guess that doesn't really sound right, does it? Throw up some taters. Vulnerable to the home run.
Sounds like a little bit undercooked.
Yeah.
He takes that on the inside part of the plate for a strike. 1 and 2. Jose trying to get Ronnie Cedeno in for the Pirates' first run. 2 runs in the first inning.
And what we saw last night is happening again tonight. For a lot of the Pirate batters, they are really invited to hit the ball toward left center field. A lot of acreage between Braun and Gomez in left center.
Tabata fouls it back. If Tabata gets one in the notch out there, that's 3 bases.
Yep. You know, Randy Wolf is a crafty 34-year-old veteran left-hander, touched 90 with that fastball. And if he can keep everybody honest with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, that's going to make him doubly effective, because he knows how to work the off-speed stuff, turn the ball over, fade it a little bit, catch some corners. Usually the guys that don't throw real hard, they need to stay away from the center part of that strike zone. I mean, that's pretty obvious. And Randy Wolf has done it quite well over his career with 114 wins.
1 out, 1 on for the Pirates. Bottom of the 3rd inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jose Tabata. With Walker on deck. Randy Wolf, a long look in. Struck him out. That's 3 strikeouts now for Randy Wolf. Fans, you can take the Pirates with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Pirates game live or on demand on your computer or your favorite devices. Visit Pirates.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Like that, keeping score. More people need to keep score. I think a lot of young kids don't learn it, and they don't understand it. It really helps you follow the game.
I remember doing that on a yellow legal tablet when I was a kid, listening to games on the radio from Yankee Stadium. Mel Allen taking the ruler and drawing the lines down, writing the lineups in. That was part of that pregame ritual with Mel Allen, Jim Woods, Les Kiter did the pregame show. They were growing up in the state of Connecticut, not that far from New York City.
Walker looking for his first hit of the night.
And Neil has had his bat cooled down a little bit. Good bit. And now LaCroix want to talk to Randy Wolf. Part of those summer nights. Just about pregame show time. Get out the yellow legal tablet and pencil. Write down the lines, write down the lineups. Get ready to listen to the ball games. Everybody has their own style. That's the great thing about keeping score. You can do it any way you want. As long as you understand it, doesn't matter what other people think.
And a lot of people do things differently.
Sure.
Walker fouls it back 2-2.
I've got a pencil that I've used that Bob Prince used way back. It's a pencil, lead pencil, but it's got a red end and a black end. And I use the red for offense and the other for defense, for outs.
Gunnar used that pen?
Yep.
That very pen?
No, not this one.
Oh, I was going to say.
And he had a pearl, pink pearl hand eraser, which has been well used over the last couple seasons. But you look back, I can see red is offense. That's easy to pick up.
A little bit of a shift on Walker here in the right, with Prince Fielder playing over towards second base. lot of that is Garth Ordge, the first base coach, infield coach, who coaches these players. And of course, Ron Renneke directs it all. Very involved in infield shifting this year, much more so than they did a year ago.
That's a pretty good combination there. Cell phone and cold beer. Not bad.
Probably ordered it on the cell phone, got it delivered. 3-2, count full to Neal. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Cedeno, a leadoff single. He's still at second base. Sacrificed over there by Maholm. And Tabata struck out. And Walker 0 for 1. Trying to barrel up a baseball here. Wolf ready to go. Here's the 3-2. Neal pops it up right side. This is a play for Ricky Weeks, who had to battle that twilight sky. 2-0 after 3 here at PNC Park.
On Root Sports is sponsored by Toyota. Buy right the first time and save more. Visit your local Toyota dealer for details. And by AT&T. Let's go Bucks!
Time to take a look at tonight's trivia question, brought to you by AT&T Mobility. Here is the question. Lyle Overbay set the Brewers franchise record for doubles in a season with 53 in 2004. Whose record did he break? You've got a pretty good list of guys to choose from. Strike one is called to Yuniesky Betancourt. The Betancourt, Almonte, and Lucroy batting in the top half of the fourth. 2-0 Brewers.
Could we have already heard the gentleman's name earlier in the broadcast?
I was thinking about the Hall of Famer. There's a bouncer to short. Bobbled by Cedeno. Recovers and throws out Betancourt. 1 away. Take a look at what's happening around the minor leagues tonight. Fourth inning. No score. Indianapolis and Louisville. Altoona leading Richmond 1-0 in Double-A. Miles Durham has a double and a run batted in that one. And Bradenton beating Fort Myers in the third 7-2. Aaron Baker with a home run. A grand slam. Up in the air to right field. Nash takes care of it. Quickly 2 away. Almonte's out.
Ball has settled down. 2 runs for the Brewers in the first. Since then, much better.
There's Lucroy. Rounded out to Pierce to start the second inning. He's 0 for 1. And the strike is called. Well, you're thinking maybe Robin Yount had that doubles number.
Was Gorman Thomas there?
I was thinking Gorman Thomas, maybe Cecil Cooper. those guys. 0-1 pitch. And that one just misses.
Was it the Brewers record or just Milwaukee record? Remember?
Well, you're not talking about the Milwaukee Braves. That would be Henry Aaron, probably.
Good chance Henry would be on that list.
Well, he was on the Brewers, too. The end of his career. And this is a number out in front of the plate. Snyder takes care of it. And a 6-pitch 1-2-3 inning for Paul Mulholland. Pirates coming to bat, looking to get some runs for their left-hander. I'd like to welcome Blue Ridge Cable subscribers from the Ephrata area of northern Lancaster County. Thanks for rooting on your Pittsburgh Pirates. All of us at Root Sports and the Pirates appreciate your support. Let's go Bucks. There's a golf course near there. Steve, you probably played it.
Absolutely. I've played some golf in the Lancaster area. Not well, but I've been there.
Andrew McCutchen will lead off the bottom of the fourth. Pirates trailing 2-0.
Let's get some runs. Get a piece of
Pirates. I thought it did. I thought the Pirates were getting a base runner right there. Didn't you get 2 holes in one? Yes, we all know the story. I hit the glove of Lucroy on the way by. Thought it got a piece of Kutch, but it didn't. Two and one now.
Randy Wolf 8-3 in his first 17 career starts against the Pirates.
2-2. Well, last year, the Brewers were 17-17 in the games that he started. He went 13-12 overall, but the team was 500 in games he started. That's a lot of starts, too. Pirates take on the Washington Nationals Saturday, April 23rd, 7:05. There it is, the Andrew McCutchen action figure. That's the one that he's holding. It's also an Eaton Park Scratch and Win Saturday. I'll see the scratch card with prizes from Eaton Park. Tickets, Pirates.com. We'll be out here on Andrew McCutchen action figure night.
Need some action from Andrew right now and the rest of the Pirates in the lineup.
He takes ball 4, so the Pirates do indeed get a base runner.
His name's Tyler.
Tyler is working on the other pennant notch right now in Root Red. That's pretty good freehand, isn't it?
Oh, well, that's a steady hand of youth. That's Root red.
Yeah. See, I think he figured it out. You want to get on television? Come to the ballpark with a root sign. And chances are good we will find you. Nobody out. Matt Diaz at the plate takes a cut. 0-1. Pirates head out right after the game tonight. And we'll jet over to Cincinnati to begin a 4-game wraparound series. 2 day games in the middle of it. Tomorrow night, Charlie Morton takes on Bronson Arroyo. It's a night game, of course. And then day games on Saturday and Sunday with a night game, getaway night, Monday to Miami on to Florida after that.
And you know the Reds are apprehensive because they've taken the day off to try to get ready for the Bucks. They're not playing tonight.
And McCutchen in trouble. Wolf is able to read the break, picked him off. So caught stealing, and the base runner erased.
Well, that's the other side of that equation. You guess. Tabata guessed right. McCutchen guessed wrong.
So far, Andrew is 0 for 2 in stolen base attempts this year. One thing we talked to him about a lot in the past is picking his spots. That's what he wants to do. He's got the green light, wants to run more. And you're not going to get as many opportunities in the third spot as you would in the leadoff spot, but still. This one up in the air to shallow center. Coming on is Gomez. And just like that, there are 2 away. Look ahead to the road series against Cincinnati. Foul ball pitchers. Told you Morton and Arroyo tomorrow. Edinson Volquez against James McDonald on Saturday. Mike Leake against to be announced. There's a good chance it could be Jeff Karstens, but the Pirates have not announced that. Travis Wood and Kevin Correa on Monday. Clint Hurdle did tell us prior to the game today that tonight is the last night that Jeff Karstens is going to be available in the bullpen, but he stopped short right there. He didn't say anything else. When pressed on the matter, he just said, no, we're still TBA for that one date.
And based on whether they use him or not, that could be the whole determining factor. By the way, Bronson Arroyo just keeps on trucking. He's 2-0 with a good ERA, great ERA, his first 2 starts.
If they had to go to a AAA call-up, the starting pitcher whose turn it would be on Saturday in Indianapolis would be Brian Burris. The problem is he's not on the 40-man roster right now. They would have to make a roster move to get him on if that's the direction they go in. But still, no word on which way they'll go for Saturday. And Pierce at the plate. You see that shift on with 3 infielders on the left. You don't see this very often against right-handed hitters. You'll see it more for left-handed hitters, but just not for right-handers. This one is inside. Count full.
Again. And, when you think about Steve Pearce and his time with the Pirates and in and around the big league neighborhood, and there's a call, 3rd strike, and we'll talk more about Pearce and his opportunities that he's had, continues to have later on.
Another strikeout. Randy Wolf and the Brewers with a 2-0 lead after 4. Lyle Overbay set the Brewers franchise record for doubles in a season, 53 in 2004. Whose Brewers record did he break? We had some guesses earlier, and it was indeed Robin Yount, 49 doubles in 1980. So I thought maybe Cecil Cooper, maybe Gorman Thomas would be in there. Maybe they were up there.
Should have stayed with our first guess.
Randy Wolf is swinging a miss. Oh, and 1 to Wolf. And now it's 0-2. Paul would like to start the inning off in the right fashion. Getting Wolf here. Speaking of the right fashion, how about the Colorado Rockies, who just left here? Swing and a miss, strike 3.
They are hot.
They swept a doubleheader from the Mets today.
Randy Wolf goes down, first out here in the top of the 5th. They just want to do a little update from the situation last night where the bunt went down the third baseline. Pedro Alvarez stayed at third base, and originally I was wondering, pitcher's responsibility to get over there, but Kevin Correa backs off, and you wonder about that, and you think, okay, Alvarez is supposed to make the play, but the Pirates had it set up where Alvarez was anchoring. So Pedro, my bad on that, my apology. And I was thinking, pitcher's responsibility is at third baseline, but I caved in and said Alvarez is supposed to make that play. It was not Pedro's play. So just get that on the books. Kevin Correa was supposed to get over there and make the play. And the reason behind it, you had a catcher running at second base, tight ball game, and the Pirates had it set up that way. So my apologies to Pedro Alvarez. And you saw Kevin Correa peel off. It was his play, and a little confusion on his part there.
And the inning kind of deteriorated after that. Ryan Braun got a base hit next, followed by the fielder home run.
Yep. Most of the time, it is the responsibility of the pitcher to cover that third baseline. You throw the pitch, and you break that way. And replay showed that they would have had time to get the runner Lucroy at third base. So, apologize for that mistake. Put it on the wrong guy.
One out in the 2-1 pitch. Popped him up, shallow center. Long run from McCutchen. And he gets underneath it for out number 2. Well, if you want to put Steve on the spot again, you can. On Root Sports, we give you the chance. You can join in on tonight's conversation in the booth by texting us a question. All you have to do is text the word booth followed by your question and your name to 412-412. The Berg area code twice. And later in the game, we'll ask Steve your question on the air. So that's what we do. Welcome to Root Sports.
Well, my whole take on that is the fact that I love Jeopardy. So the answer is Abraham Lincoln. You can text whatever you want,
and it's going to be Abraham Lincoln.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
So we got that covered, but we invite your question.
See Dash Riprock over here, our stage manager, who's in the shot also. You can see him. He's the keeper of the iPad there.
And he does well with it, whatever that thing is. I have a bigger TV than that at home. Is that a little television there?
It can be. That's one of its functions. It's almost finished.
Oh, he's doing some highlights now. I like it. We're going to dress it up a little bit.
And some patchwork.
Some accent marks.
Carlos Gomez ahead of the count, 3-1 against Mulholland. 2 down. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Brewers. No runs on a single hit for the Pirates. Ronnie Cedeno has the Bucs' lone hit off Randy Wolf tonight. 3-1. And this one is hit well to left field. Going back is Tabata. Tabata got turned around for a moment, and he makes a great over-the-shoulder catch. Boy, he had to go a long way for that. That's a very difficult catch, but Jose Tabata hauls it in.
Boy, that's worth another look. Didn't quit on it. It didn't have much height, and that created the degree of difficulty, but stays with it, not afraid of the wall, and comes down, and a nice save for Paul Mulholland.
Bottom of the fifth, Lyle Overbay fouls the first pitch off from Randy Wolf. Behind 0-1. Overbay struck out swinging in the second inning. Jose Talbot, a defensive gem out in left field, taking extra bases away from Carlos Gomez. Breaking ball outside, 1-1. A pleasant night here at the park. 67 degrees at game time. And Overbay lifts this one out into short left field for a base hit. Let's go back out onto the right field bleachers and check in with Lacey.
Well, Tyler, our engineer major, is quite the perfectionist, and as you can see, the pennant notch is finished, and I believe these guys are ready from the University of Pitt Greensburg to root for our Pirates and get a little rally going here.
Well, they're off on the right foot. Looking good.
That's good. Took him 4.5 innings, but he wanted to get it right.
Tomorrow, our next homestand, we want the same kind of theme, only root for the home team, so we can just really get it out there.
Home team needs to get some runs here. The shift is on for the right-hander Snyder. 3 on the left, 1 on the right. And you just don't see this. Again, we saw it on Pierce earlier in the game. This is something new that the Brewers are doing this year. And you got to wonder, Steve, when these things even out. We saw the Pirates try this last year and the year before, and sometimes it would work, sometimes you get burned.
Well, if it was tremendously successful, this concept, more teams would be doing it more often because they keep track of everything.
0-2. That's high, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Chris.
And you see the Randy Wolf pattern, gets out in front 0-2, shows him a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. But that's just window dressing. He's just showing him that pitch to set something else up.
1-2, way outside.
Slow curve. Now that's the wonderful thing about pitching. You can use a pitch to set something up, but you can show them that high outside fastball and then maybe come back with another fastball. It doesn't automatically mean you're going to go from fastball to curve, and that's the pitching sense. Stays alive, yeah, with that 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Yeah, it's a continual chess match. You know, when a hitter sees you miss with a fastball, well, he's still got to be kind of looking for the fastball. But when you miss with a curveball, the mentality of batters, they want to look for that fastball. That's how they got to the big leagues, by hitting fastballs after off-speed pitches, and it's hard to turn that switch off.
Snyder still alive, 2-2.
But he is in a very defensive mode right now, and as any batter will in the big leagues against big league pitching, you get behind 0-2. Most of the time you're in a little bit of staying alive mode, trying to hang in there. Now there will be occasions where you're just going to turn it loose and you don't alter your approach or your thoughts, but here you have to, because you want to get a little something going here, a little action going. Back away from the big swing you might have been taking before it got to be 0-2. But since that time, let's put the ball in play, see if we can get on the board.
Pulled foul. Stays 2-2. Pirates have had a base runner on in every inning except the second, but haven't been able to get a man past second base. Talbot walked and stole second in the first. Cedeno singled, went to second on a sacrifice in the third. And McCutchen walked to lead off the fourth, caught stealing. And now Overbay leads off with a base hit in the fifth. And Snyder gets a piece of it again.
And we're in the fifth inning, and Randy Wolf has got a pretty significant pitch count. But I guess not really alarming. Can't say it's alarming.
Yeah, when did he get up to 71?
As you said, there's been action.
Snyder down on strikes. Well, fans, you can book your group outing of any size at PNC Park today. Ask how each member of your group can take home a Pirates cap or Roberto Clemente replica jersey with just the price of a ticket, in addition to a great discount. To reserve your group tickets, call 1-800-5-BUCKS or visit pirates.com/groups. And your group can even qualify for a chance to throw out the first pitch, sing the national anthem, or get recognized on the field at PNC Park. So groups are a great way to see the Buccos.
How many times have you seen it, Tim, where a guy comes in to start against not just the Pirates, but come in to start against any major league team, 0-2 with an ERA of 7, and just shutting a major league team down? Again, you can't tell what's going to happen on a given night, especially when you consider the starting pitchers. They can turn it around in an instant and get it together, or it can continue to unravel, or they can just be really good and slide away and have a miserable outing. Just, you don't know until they play the anthem.
Strike call and a breaking ball to Cedeno.
Drops that little curveball in at 67 miles an hour, and that will help set up an entire at bat from the pitcher standpoint.
Get ahead with strike one, it changes everything.
Yeah, especially with a breaking ball now, because the batter still has to be aware of the fastball.
There's strike two. So Wolf with 5 strikeouts right now. He's ahead of Ronnie Cedeno.
Just an average fastball at the top of the strike zone, but after that real slow curveball, you're tempted. Now he's got you in his rhythm.
And 6 strikeouts for Randy Wolf. Cedeno goes down looking.
Here's a guy doesn't throw all that hard, but he's averaging a strikeout an inning for his first 3 starts. Look at that. See, nowhere near the middle of the hitting zone. Nowhere near the middle of the hitting zone on any of those deliveries. That's pitching, as you were talking about early in the ballgame.
Well, if you look at the Brewers staff, if they get good performances out of Markham, and also when Zach Greinke comes back, the reigning AL Cy Young winner, and if you get a guy like Wolf who can be an X-factor type of pitcher, who can have one of those surprising seasons, they could be in the hunt. Take a look at the Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. It's team ERA, and Milwaukee already on the list. Pirates on the list too, in the top 6. Top 5.
Got a real good chance here of recording 3 strikeouts in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Outside and low. Paul Maholm has a hit this year. 1 out of 5 on the season. 200 batting average. He goes down on strikes. So Wolf does strike out the side in the 5th.
Well, Paul Mahallam getting ready to work here in the 6th, and you see that that AGH cam all over the ballpark, capturing the feel of the ball game, the enjoyment of the fans that come to watch. It captures it. It really captures it. You get a sense of people having a good time, players getting their work in. Whole package of Major League Baseball. 2-0 as the Brewers hit here in the top of the 6th inning. Ryan Braun walked and scored in the 1st. On base, stole a base his next time up. 3 hits for the Brewers, 2 for the Pirates as they continue to look for offense. This short 2-game series, the Pirates have yet to score. Paul Mahallam doing his part, giving up a couple runs in the 1st inning, but 4 zeros since, just 3 hits given up. Paul, 6 2/3 scoreless against the Cubs. His first start of the year, came away with a no decision and picked up the loss last time up against Colorado. And pitch missing outside. 3-0 to Ryan Braun. On deck, Prince Fielder, the Mahallam Fielder matchup that has gone so heavily in Paul's favor. An RBI single for the big first baseman tonight. Here's a pitch in for a strike. Mahallam ready, 3-1. And that pitch just missing outside. All right, in between innings, the nightly pierogi race. Saul out in front, cheese fading, and the onion. The onion comes up, and Saul's not going to catch him. Simple as that. Oliver Onion. It's going to be the onion. There you have it. Fielder against Mahallam, and Paul going to pay attention. All right, AGH picking up the final strides. And the onion knows he's got it. Mahallam to Fielder. It will happen after he keeps an eye on Braun, and that's not completely out of character when a pitcher as a guy steal a base. You're going to watch him closely, as Ryan Braun guessed beautifully last time. No contest getting into second base. Average lead. And the pitch to Prince is in for a strike on the outside corner. 2-0 Milwaukee.
That's a long way. I just get out of the pierogi suit. Make my way back up here.
You did well.
Not every day you get to do that.
Which of the pierogies were you? That's the key question. I hope it wasn't Hannah. Hannah was not eating in the photo finish on our AGH cam.
I try not to carry a purse.
0-1 to Prince. Picks up that outside corner. 0-2. A couple of nice deliveries, and now Paul has the luxury of toying around with the big man. Okay, Pirates get the call. See if Paul can get him to chase.
Prince was thinking about it. He has chased many times before. 14 times he has struck out against Paul.
Be in the on-deck circle. And when you're trying to get him to chase something bad, you're out in front 0-2. You're not going to fool around too much inside.
No, he'll pull it. Usually a long way.
Yeah. But you can watch Snyder where he sets up. If he sets up inside, pardon the grammar, it ain't going to be no breaking ball. He's going to come in there to try to tie him up.
One-two to Prince, and he got him 15th time in his career. He just struck out Prince Fielder, second time tonight.
Nice right on that outside corner. That is an absolute perfecta. Nice delivery by Paul, and nice way to get on the other side of the big threat.
And Mulholland now to face the third baseman, McGee. One out, Braun at first. A leadoff walk issued to him. Pitch out. Pirates thought something was up.
Well, they're concerned. Paul going over there a couple times, and now the pitch out. So both of these guys not known for their strikeout abilities. Wolf has 7 in 5 innings. Paul Mulholland has now 5, working in inning number 6. And actually had Braun going back to first base. The left-handers can do a lot of that sort of thing, and as they pick up their front leg toward home plate, they can kind of hold it in no man's land, and it really freezes the runner many times.
Is it easy to shift or you think you're coming to the plate, but then you see the runner in a position where you don't like him, and then is it easy just to shift over to first base? Here comes Diaz. He'll make a nice sliding grab.
Yeah, the left-handers can do that. You know, they're facing the runner, so they can lift that leg and actually almost kind of hold it there, or almost look like they're stepping to first base and deliver it to home. Diaz coming full bore. And you can say, well, they don't have to get down on the ground to make this play, but by getting down, you still keep the ball and the glove up around the shoulder, so you're not reaching down. You got a better visual plane. That ball is still right about head high or a little bit less, as opposed to reaching down and not getting on the ground. So maybe visually it gives you a better feel, and you stay locked in a little bit better.
Here's Betancourt. And Paul gets a strike on him, gets ahead in the count. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to the shortstop Cedeno in the 4th, but drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the first inning. RBI number 3 on the season for him.
Well, we had a whole lot of pitching going on last night. Got a whole lot of pitching going on tonight, really, as this game unfolds. Not quite as dramatic and quickly paced as last night, but still very good work by Mulholland and Randy Wolf.
Yeah, once Paul settled down after that 2-run first, things have been pretty good.
Minimal number of base runners, really, when you look at the scorecard.
Pitch number 80 coming for Mulholland here.
Not dramatic, not a problem at all at this point.
Well, Paul doing a good job here.
And about 30 pitches in that first inning. He threw a ton of pitches, so he's gotten much more efficient.
He's gone over the 1,000 inning mark. That's Matt Diaz went into that sliding grab. Took that one away from McGee. He went over 1,000 innings pitched for the Pirates. Only 38 guys in the 125-year history of the franchise have thrown 1,000 innings. The last guy to do it is in the booth next door.
Robert Vernon Walk.
Bob Walk, 1993.
1,000 innings?
Over 1,000 innings. To left field, and Tabata drifting underneath.
There you go, Paul.
And that's out number 3. Heading to the bottom of the 6th. Pirates looking for some runs. Getting set to lead off the bottom half of the sixth. Pirates trailing 2-0 with Steve Blass. I'm Tim Neverett. Beautiful night at PNC Park. It's a getaway night. Pirates wrapping up the first homestand of 2011. Heading off to Cincinnati for the game tomorrow night in the Queen City. Strike called to Jose. Tabata 0 for 1. He walked and stole second base in the first and then struck out in the third. Paul Maholm, Chris Snyder in the Pirate dugout. Just caught the edge. Breaking ball for strike 2. .317 average for Jose. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he's down on strikes for the second time. And Wolf has struck out the last 4 men he's faced. Coors Light 6th innings. Take a look at the Coors Light freeze cam. Watch Tabata on the steal of second, going in hard. Right over the second baseman, Ricky Weeks, right into his foot.
He got that massive jump. Guessing right.
This is Coors Light freeze cam, brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Strike 1 to Neil Walker.
Well, this Pirate offense is becoming a concern, Tim. Quite honest, after
the homestand, it hasn't been. They've not been lighting it up.
After a busy opening road trip with the bats, it's been quiet. Get your attention. Cedric Headache, number 14.
Pirates had 16 hits in one game on the road. All singles. Here, just 2. Hot shot. That's a hot shot.
Well, you mentioned Walkie's name. Career-wise, he got me by 66 innings.
He did?
Yep. 1,666. Right around 1,600. A lot of major league innings.
I got another good note on Bob Walk yesterday. Dan Herron had 3 wins last week for the Angels. Had 2 wins as a starter, 1 in relief.
Yeah, think about that. 3 wins in a week.
In a 7-day period, he had 3 wins. The last guy to do it 20 years ago, sitting there on the right talking, Bob Walk for the Pirates in 1991. Had 3 wins in a week. And didn't you tell me he had 9 wins that whole year? No, he had more than that, didn't he?
I think he's 9-2.
So he had a third of his wins the whole year.
91. 91, 9-2 with a 360 ERA.
He had a third of his wins in 1 week.
Well, if he could have put about 4 weeks like that together, then you got yourself a year.
Yeah, Bob's name's been coming up a lot this week.
He just hasn't been around much.
I know. 3-2 pitch, and Walker hits this one well to left field. Braun going back, and Braun can't make the catch. It's off his glove, and Walker into second base. A double for Neil Walker.
Well, it's been
the third one for Neil.
Got a glove on it, did Ryan Braun. I thought he might have just hit it up in the air with his glove and then caught it again. There it is. Oh, look at that shot. That's great. Down in the heel of the glove a little bit and then looking to get the bounce and just out of his reach.
Nothing he hasn't seen before in his long career in the big leagues, Randy Wolf.
Yep. 13th major league season.
So now you want to make it hurt.
Yeah, just get on the board. The Pirates had a chance in the bottom of the first inning. Tabata was on second base with nobody out, but then Walker, McCutchen, and Diaz couldn't make it happen.
2 balls, no strikes to McCutchen. Struck out looking in the first and walked and was caught stealing in the fourth.
Get on the board. Get on the board. Get aboard.
Kutch represents the tying run. 2-0 Milwaukee lead, bottom of the 6th. And McCutchen up in the air to left. Braun catches it this time. There are 2 down. think you're a big fan of Bill Mazeroski? Wait until you meet Chuck. He's got an entire room dedicated to Maz, and he's showing us around. So check it out on Inside Pirates Baseball, Saturday at 4:30 on Root Sports. Don't miss it.
Pretty easy guy to root for, Bill Mazeroski. It all fits.
Diaz fouls it off.
3 hits apiece, but the Brewers have the 2 runs, the only 2 runs on the board.
A great time. The right field seats.
Number 58 right there.
It's a blast coming to the ballpark.
And why do you come to the ballpark? To have a good time. And that's what we try to capture with our Root Sports cameras.
0-2 the count. And Diaz waits and fouls it back.
Best bargain in all of pro sports. Tickets to Major League Baseball. Great prices here at PNC Park. And these folks that work here, the ticket folks, they will find a package that you will be happy with. Start by 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. You can get all the information you want.
That's a good way to do it. Diaz missed on strike 3, and Lucroy also missed. So the strikeout 2-3 to put out. And another strikeout for Randy Wolf. He's racking them up. Doing more on defense, centers around the Pirates left fielder Jose Tabata. Starts one way, turns his back to the plate, finds the ball again, leaps and makes a great catch up against the wall. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Eric Almonte leading off. To run up to bunt, fouls it off. That's not an easy play because he had to find the ball for a second time.
Yeah, and the ball was not hit with a lot of height, so there was not much time to establish your route. And you got to know when to take that jump, because if you take it too early, you're coming down, you're just messed up. And if you wait too long, you don't get to be able to reach out like that. So yeah, a lot of things involved in that nice catch.
22 years old, Jose Tabata.
Growing up at the major league level and growing up physically. Every time we see him in spring training, looks a little bit stronger, a little bit more developed.
1-1 to Almonte. Now it's 1-2. Almonte behind Paul Maholm here. He is 0 for 2 tonight.
Let's not fail to note what a good job Paul is doing. 5 zeros after that awkward top of the first.
Almonte pops it up down the right side, and that one will make the seats. Not by much, but it still made it. Almonte with a 1-2 count on it. Maholm waiting for both Overbay and Walker to get back into position on the infield. Diaz to get back in position in right field. All three were converging on that foul ball. And a comebacker. Maholm just stole a single from Almonte. There's
Reaction
one
play
away.
by Paul Maholm. All you do is got to get a piece of it, knock it down, and you got an easy toss to first base.
That was hit pretty well.
Yep. Don't
Heading up the
panic.
middle.
Don't rush after that ball gets back down on the ground.
One down. Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher, takes strike one.
I wonder how many folks remember that Paul Maholm took that line drive off his face in the minor leagues, and not only still pitching professionally, which would be significant, but pitching in the major leagues and giving the Pittsburgh Pirates a lot of innings, a lot of starts. There are a lot of people who get hit with balls back at them as pitchers and never really pitch the same way or at all after that.
And it's hard to say how long it will take a guy to recover from something like that, because I think it's got to be different with everybody.
Yeah, and you know, the physical part is one thing, but the mental part of realizing how much damage can be done with a ball hit right back at you. And everybody that pitches a significant amount of time is going to get hit. It's going to happen. You're the closest guy to that bat.
Ground ball into left field and a base hit for Lucroy. One out single for the Brewers. He's man on. Tomorrow will be a radio-only game from Cincinnati. We'll be back on Root Sports Saturday afternoon for a matinee in the Queen City against Dusty Baker and the Reds. James McDonald will pitch for the Pirates against right-hander Edinson Volquez. Your time to root begins with a pregame show from Pittsburgh with live reports from Great American Ballpark in Cincy starting at 12:30. Greg Brown and Bob Walk have the call at 1 o'clock. That's Saturday on Root. Sergio Mitre is in there.
Let's try him. We're not having much success against Randy Wolf.
Wolf bails out and takes a strike. Wolf grounded out in the second, struck out in the fifth. Give himself up here. Another strike. The Pirates have some action. Jose Veras.
We're wondering about the career strikeout in a game number for Randy Wolf. He's what, up to 9 now?
9 strikeouts.
Still got 4 more to go to reach his high at a 13 strikeout game.
And he fouls it off and strikes out. 2 men out in the top half of the 7th. Friday, April 22nd. Bucks host the Washington Nationals at 7:05. You can celebrate Earth Day here at the ballpark. All fans receive a reusable coffee sleeve and a Let's Go Bucks, Let's Go Green t-shirt courtesy of Waste Management. For tickets, visit Pirates.com. Be here on Earth Day, Friday, April 22nd. Pirates and the Washington Nationals. Notes right now. 2 outs, top of the 7th. We will be staying here for the 7th inning stretch. Show you some of the pictures and sights from all around the ballpark during one of the great traditions in sport, the 7th inning stretch. Ricky Weeks 1 for 3 tonight. Leake Singleton scored in the first inning. And a Tapper foul. Strike one. We're talking about getting hit by pitches or hit by balls coming back off the bat. What's the worst one that hit you?
Joe Torre hit a ball on a Sunday afternoon off my elbow, and it bounced over toward the Cardinal dugout, and he wanted a ground rule double. I'm close to death out there in the middle. And he's arguing with the umpire. He should get 2 bases. It cost me about 5 weeks.
5 weeks, and him only what, 1 base?
Yeah, that's the math. It's a long. That's a long 5 weeks. I mean, you only got so many weeks in a major league season. You missed 5 of them.
That's significant.
Yeah, that's about 7 starts. And so after the 3rd week, I went to Danny Murtaugh. I said, Danny, I'm feeling good. You know, when are you gonna put me back out there? He said, no, Steve, I haven't decided, but when I do, you're going to be really one of the first to know. And that was the end of that meeting. I said, okay.
He knew how to handle you.
Yeah, takes care of that.
So I'll get rid of Blass.
Yeah, I got things to do. I'm going to get him out of this office.
2 outs.
You'll be one of the first to know.
Lucroy's at first, and a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. 2 weeks. Side 2-2.
The best one was when Doc Ellis went in there screaming about something, and 20 minutes later he came back. And what happened, Doc? He said, I don't know. He was talking to me. I forgot what I went in there for. Danny could do a little double talking too.
The doctor.
Yep.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Home to first. So Weeks awaits the 2-2 from Mulholland. Here it is. And a line shot right at Cedeno. Pick up the force out at second base. So 6.5 in the books. It's the 7th inning stretch. We're going to keep it here at PNC Park. Let you enjoy the scenery around the ballpark during the 7th inning stretch. Everybody up.
Fans
Steve Pearce takes strike one from Randy Wolf. At the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-0 Brewers. And Wolf set to go. The 0-1. That's high and outside. New right fielder for the Brewers is former Pirate Nyjer Morgan.
Common practice for the Brewers, from what we hear from their people, that the Brewers have a lead in the 7th or later. Morgan's going to be out there. Bucko, number 2, Nyjer Morgan.
A good visit with Nyjer prior to the game today. He's all set up in downtown Milwaukee. Likes his new situation. 1-2. And Pearce up in the air to left, fairly deep. Braun going back, and Braun on the track comes down with it. And somebody congratulating Braun.
On pitch number 100, delivered by Randy Wolf, Steve Pearce gets a lot of it, but not quite enough of it. Almost one-handed. Now that ball is a big problem at Miller Park. But here at PNC, the big left center field acreage.
You can see the Pirate fans screaming at Braun, trying to distract him, and then after Braun caught it, he looked at him and gave him a high five. Said, nice try. Lots of kids at the park tonight. They're in those left field seats. Lyle Overbay takes ball 1.
That's one of the 3 Pirate hits.
Camera low out there. He worked a little last night.
You would guess that Ron Renicky would allow Randy Wolf to go through his 7th if he can get through it, get a couple more outs, and then you would see some relief action. Not guaranteed, but when you get up around that 100 pitch mark, the buzzer goes off.
Overbay still 1 ball 2 strikes. Pirates trying to find a way to score a run. Last night shut out 6-0. Shut out for the first time. The Brewers, meantime, have 3 shutouts to their credit through the first 11 games of the season. It's the first time the Brewers have had that many shutouts that fast since 1990, when they had 4 in the first 11.
It's a credit to not only the starters but the bullpen also.
Overbay, disappointed, strikes out. Earlier, we asked you to text Steve a question. Text the booth. Last night, the play at the plate involving Nyjer Morgan. Steve, do you think Nyjer's play at the plate was dirty? Question from Travis. Let's take a look first, and then let Steve answer. So, Tabata gets the ball in quickly. Here comes Nyjer.
No, absolutely not. Randy Wolf's going to depart now, but taking a look at that play, no, he's going to go over. He's going to try to knock the ball loose. Not dirty. Nope, absolutely not.
And one of the series prior to this one, 5 collisions at the plate in the series that the Brewers had with Arizona. So Nyjer, Gomez talking it over. New pitcher coming in for the Brewers.
different look for Pirate batters because this guy will throw a lot harder than Randy Wolf, but I don't know if he can work any more effectively. Wolf departs 6 2/3, scoreless innings, 3 hits, a couple of walks, 10 strikeouts. So a little bit like a left-handed version of Sean Markham last night. Both them throwing hard enough, but not, flamethrowers. But Markham did it as a right-hander last night, and Randy Wolf doing it tonight as a lefty. You saw Cameron Lowe last night as you take a look at Chris Snyder. And Lowe came in to face Walker and McCutchen, got them both out, recorded a strikeout. And here he is on again tonight.
He's delivered 3 straight balls to Chris Snyder. Just one other note on Wolf. It's the 13th time in his career, Steve, that he has struck out 10 or more in a game.
Proving once again you can do it without the 95, 97 mile an hour fastball.
And ball 4, 4-pitch walk issued to Snyder with 2 down. AGH Sports Medicine injury update. See Chris Snyder back here. When will Joe Beimel be back here? He pitched Monday and Tuesday for Indy. No issues. He could join the team as early as this weekend in Cincinnati. That's the injury update. Thanks to our friends at Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The ebb and flow of the 25-man active roster, and it goes on and on all season long for every major league team.
John Bowker will hit for Ronnie Cedeno. Earl getting a left-handed bat against the 6'8" right-hander. Shortstop Betancourt playing behind second base. See the third baseman McGee playing in the hole, almost a deep shortstop. Not deep shortstop, but in the hole at short. That alignment worked a couple of times last night, taking singles up the middle away from Overbay and Walker. Walker swing and a miss, 1-1. Well, if they put this on with nobody on, nobody out, you're probably going to take your chances every once in a while, try to lay one down at third. Take your base hit, but not in this situation with 2 outs and 1 out.
I don't know. I'm wondering about trying anything at this point to get the offense going.
I mean, eventually teams are just going to take their base hits when the situation accounts for it, when they keep going into these infield shifts. I remember a couple of years ago, Garrett Jones did that. Arizona tried to shift on him. Did so one day. Each time up, took a hit away from him. Then the next day, he laid one down third, and they didn't shift on him again.
Well, if he laid one down, you got Pedro Alvarez in the on-deck circle representing a go-ahead run. No left-hander throwing in the Milwaukee bullpen.
In the dirt to Bunker, 2-2.
Good work for Paul Maholm. Outstanding work. Take a look at his start tonight.
Through 7 innings, so he ate up some innings. 2-2, and Bunker to the second baseman Weeks. That'll do it for the Pirates. Still scoreless through 7 full at PNC Park. Brewers 2, Pirates nothing. what it looks like live across the Allegheny River, downtown Pittsburgh. Brewers and the Pirates. Game 2 of a rain-shortened 2-game set. A little long in the tooth as well. Pirates now have gone 22 straight innings without scoring a run. And trying to find a way to get something across here against the Crew. Josh Rodriguez comes out to replace Ronnie Cedeno at shortstop. And the new pitcher is right-hander Jose Veras. Comes on for Paul Maholm after 7 pretty strong innings of work. Giving up only 4 hits.
On the hook.
Veras in 5 games, those are the numbers. He will face Carlos Gomez, Ryan Braun, and Prince Fielder in the top half of the 8th. 2 runs in the top of the 1st. They've stood up since.
Jose Veras, 1 bad inning, but other than that, he has been good out of the Pirate bullpen.
Corner infielders are in. Overbay way in at first base, expecting Gomez to lay one down. Gomez takes the strike. Gomez tonight with 1 hit. That was in the 3rd inning. He has struck out and flied out. Flied out to left in the 5th. That's when Jose Tabata made a very nice play on him. Going deep to the wall. Gomez is intent to bunt. At least he's trying to give you the impression that he is.
And he's looking right down the barrel. He doesn't care where they're playing against him. He thinks if he gets it down properly, he can beat the rap at first base.
This time he'll swing away and right through it for strike 2.
You can swing and miss at some 94-mile-an-hour fastballs. That's exactly what Mr. Gomez did there.
1-2 to Gomez. Jose Veras ready to roll. Right-hander's pitch. Tries to bunt with 2 strikes and strikes out. So we are definitely seeing some unconventional baseball out of the Brewers.
I think he really hit that ball right on the end of the bat. It had a funny sound. Clonk. Sounded like he dropped a pan in the kitchen.
Sounded like it was hollow.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is, the end of the bats now are scooped out. So if you hit it out at the end of the bat, you can get that kind of sound.
So a strikeout for Veras.
Maholm had 6. And that's my idea of a real quality start. 7 innings, 2 runs given up. You've done a pretty good job. Done a real good job.
Ryan Braun has walked twice and hit into a fielder's choice. Stole a bag, scored a run. Ball and no strikes to the Brewers left fielder out of the University of Miami. He was recruited to go to West Coast schools primarily, including Stanford. And he ended up going to Florida, playing for Miami instead in college. Imagine a guy like him hitting with an aluminum bat.
Dangerous.
1-1 pitch. And that's on the corner for strike 2.
Didn't matter whether it's aluminum or wood. He didn't like that call.
That's right.
Strike zone. Backing up the fact that he had a beef.
Braun, a 3-time National League All-Star starter, 2008, 2009, and last year too. That one's way outside. 3 times he's won a Silver Slugger, the same years he started in the All-Star game. Rookie of the Year in the National League, also 2007.
Quite a resume. And figure that Silver Slugger, that this is a converted third baseman playing out there in the outfield.
27 years of age. He's out of Mission Hills, Los Angeles area.
Mr. Rick working the crowd down the back of home plate.
Come back here to Jose Veras. 2 down. Tonight's Coors Light Cold Hard Blast last night in the 6th inning. Prince Fielder A hanging breaking ball from Kevin Correa and drove this one deep into the night. Going into the Brewers bullpen. 3-run shot. That's the cold hard blast brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
You got to look there, and you got to look now at kind of comparatively trimmed down Prince Fielder, not carrying as much weight as we saw him previous years.
He has lost some weight.
Yeah, but he's still a big, strong man. And that home run was muscled in the bullpen.
I think some of that had to do with the fact that he stopped eating meat. He's just a vegetarian, I guess. And that has taken some of the weight down. I think he went down a pant size or two also. Pants he was wearing last year, Steve, I think you could have fit in one leg, I could have fit in the other. He wore them big on purpose. Shift is on for Fielder with Walker playing at short right field. Little number toward first. Overbay will handle it. He beats Fielder to the bag. That does it. Nice inning for Jose Veras. He gets the Brewers in order. You're watching Pirates baseball on Root Sports. Cameron Lowe getting set to pitch to a pinch hitter, Pedro Alvarez. Bottom of the 8th inning. And the first pitch, fastball strike. Alvarez did not start in this one, making his first appearance at the plate. Getting an even 200. Take that one low. Field not quite into a full shift for him. Well, now they've just changed. As Betancourt moved exactly behind the bag. He doesn't know if he wants to go to the second base side or the shortstop side. Ends up back where he started on the shortstop side. Pedro takes strike 2.
Yeah, you really don't want to play right in back of the bag because you've got a ground ball coming at you. Is it going to hit the bag? Is it not going to hit the bag? And that can be distracting enough to throw you off making a play. A little angle on it, as Betancourt does now.
And Pedro strikes out looking. It has been not a night for the Pirate hitters, that's for sure.
Take a look at the strike zone. See if Pedro's got a beef. Okay, I'm going to be the strike zone, and yeah, I thought he had a beef. Thought that ball might have been a little low, a little inside.
Tabata shortens up, but takes the ball 1-0. 11 hitters have struck out here tonight. Lowe's 1-0 pitch. Tabata takes inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, the 2011 first-year player draft order was announced today. And the Pirates, as we knew, have the #1 pick. And the strike is gone. So the draft order, Mariners picking after the Pirates, and the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks have 2 in the top 7. And of the first 60 selections, the Tampa Bay Rays have 10 of them.
That's significant. That's volume.
Well, you talk about trying to build through the draft. They've got a good opportunity. 3-1 pitch, and Tabata pounds it, foul count full. But when you are the #1 team to have the first pick, you've got a lot of work to do, because there's a handful of players who could be the #1 pick. 3-2 pitch, and down goes Tabata.
And that's 3 times for him tonight.
He hasn't struck out 3 times in a game all year. Now, sometimes strikeouts can be contagious, just like hitting. Sometimes get a few hits, bunch them together, they can be contagious. And what we're seeing tonight is the opposite.
There's an epidemic going on. Pirates.
Walker batting left-handed, first time tonight. And he tries to go the other way, but he hits it right at McGee. And a quick inning in the 8th. Pirates go quietly. We're on to the 9th. Milwaukee 2 and the Bucks nothing. The pictures from the ballpark tonight. Take you around the ballpark with our remote camera. Start the top half of the 9th. After the game, Clint Hurdle's take on this one and what the players are saying from the field. Stick around. Catch Pirates post game. It's coming up next on Root Sports, live for PNC Park.
Well, let's hope the Pirates can have a big bottom of the 9th inning, or you might see a manager that well, obviously is going to be pretty frustrated with the Pirate offense.
Especially a guy who has such a tight connection to hitting Got his teeth in the big leagues as a hitting coach before being a manager. Last year, hitting coach with Texas.
The first question he'll be asked if the Pirates don't do anything in the bottom of the ninth will be, is it the Milwaukee pitching or your Pirate batters?
Well, one thing that
I have no idea how he'll answer that.
Still have 3 outs to go, and considering the Pirates with their 5 wins, 4 of those 5 wins have been comeback wins. So still an opportunity. And it gets to a point where it doesn't matter what happened the previous 8 innings. If you can get enough runs in 1 inning, you'll win the game.
That's why they have 9. Joel Hanrahan on to bring it with his fastball out in front. 0-2, that last fastball, 97 miles an hour.
And McGee watches that one go through the legs of Snyder.
Well, Chris Snyder was not seeing this kind of stuff being thrown at him down in Bradenton. So that slider gets away.
Cannonballs out of the hand of Joel Hanrahan. 1-2. It's in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Snyder, too, you talk about him as the catcher back. And one of the questions you might have is he now the everyday catcher? And what does that mean for Ryan Doumit? Clint Hurdle saying before the game that they don't have a specific plan, but he doesn't figure to have Snyder catching 3 days in a row. If he has back-to-back games, that one's going to go to the wall. And McGee will stop at second base with a double. A ground rule double for McGee. But he said Domit's still going to get his time behind the plate. And they will get Ryan's bat in the lineup.
Snyder out to discuss the signs, make sure they're on the same page. Joel Hanrahan with a man at second base.
Well, McGee at second, nobody out. Hanrahan facing Yuniesky Betancourt. 0-for-2. Overbay charging from first base, expecting Betancourt to bunt. He didn't give it up, however.
Nyjer Morgan in the on-deck circle.
First pitch to Betancourt. Ground ball towards second. Stopped by Walker. Throws on to first. It's off the mark. And around third comes McGee. The throw. And McGee is safe.
Went around the back door and back of Chris Snyder.
And here comes Clint Hurdle. I don't think Clint agrees with Adrian Johnson on the call. Let's see what happened.
Good stop by Neil Walker on the backhand side, but then the throw catches a flyer. And now Overbay's throw is going to come to Snyder.
Get that right foot down first. Watch.
Gets him back of the catcher.
Foot down was on the plate before the tag.
Almost takes out the umpire. Another look. Real-time action. It looked like McGee gets the part of the plate that Snyder can't get around to.
It's a big run to have to give up in the 9th inning. 3-0 Milwaukee. Nyjer Morgan takes strike 1. Ray Searage calling for help. Pirate bullpen starting to get active just in case. Still nobody out. Runner at second. Morgan rips this one past a diving Overbay, and more trouble for the Pirates here in the 9th.
That's going to be 3 bases.
Betancourt comes around to score. Here comes Morgan, and he falls. And they are going to have Nyjer Morgan. Neil Walker tags him out. Or Josh Rodriguez, rather, tags him out. But Morgan gets the run in, and it's now 4-0.
When it gets blistered down in the corner on this angle, you know Nyjer Morgan's going to go for 3. And the turnaround second, and then just throws a shoe.
Blew a tire going around second base. Rodriguez caught up with him. That was there's that. But the RBI after the double, the Betancourt is around. So 2 runs in and still less than 2 outs, just 1 out. We talked to Niger about getting ignored on opening day by the public address announcer in Milwaukee. They just skipped over him. And I told him, I said, Niger, you know why? This one is out of play. I said, why? I said, they didn't see your alter ego on the roster, Tony Plush. He was looking for Tony Plush, which is the other name Niger goes by when he's having fun. It is his gentleman's name. It's just part of his personality. He's very funny. I think last year some of the things that happened to him with Washington, where people kind of thought they saw one thing and ran with it, it's really, I thought, a little unfair to Niger.
Well, the thing is, might not have gotten introduced, but I'm sure the check came on the 15th.
Yeah,
the first.
Yeah. I wonder if the check's made out to Tony Plush or to Niger Morgan. Josh Rodriguez, meanwhile, throws out Jonathan Lucroy. And they're now 2 down. He's got good speed.
Yes, he does.
Sometimes it gets the better of him. Craig Counsell pinch hitting in the 9 spot for Milwaukee.
You always know when it's this veteran, Craig Counsell, that pronounced batting setup. This guy's had a terrific career and with a lot of winning baseball teams.
Well, he used to have a much more pronounced stance.
He's getting standard now.
Yeah, and his hands used to be way up over his head.
It used to be Hideo Nomo pitching to Craig Counsell was an exercise in stretching. Nomo would go straight up and back. Counsell would have the bat way up. Well, both of them fully extended.
16 years. They call him Rudy. He's out of Notre Dame. Pops it up shallow center. Rodriguez wants it. He's got it. 2 runs come in on 2 hits. There was an error. Last wraps for the Bucks. They need 4. Going to the bottom of the 9th next on Root Sports. Pirates pitcher Joel Hanrahan, we believe, got thrown out of the game by Adrian Johnson. During the break, Adrian Johnson discussing the situation with Clint Hurdle. And here is Hanrahan jawing with Johnson. And while Overbay stepping in front there. Let's see. It appears as though he did get run out of this one, but no confirmation yet. Just trying to check with Pirates officials in the press box, and they have not had confirmation on it. So
There are bigger issues at play here as John Axford, the closer for the Brewers, comes in to try to protect this 4-0 lead.
I don't know if he got run, but he certainly got scolded. I think that was a mutual exercise. Anyway, you go to the bottom of the ninth, and Andrew McCutchen will lead off. McCutchen without a hit tonight, 0 for 2. And this guy here, how good are you to take the place of Trevor Hoffman? And all Axford did was work his way into that role. Came up from the minor leagues a couple of seasons ago and earned himself a spot on the big league roster, and then took over for the game's all-time saves leader last year because he was having more success.
You see, he kind of hides that ball in back of him, so it's a little tough to pick up. Got that little hitch in back of the body with the baseball. That doesn't make it any easier for the hitters.
1-1. Axford ready to go. And the pitch to McCutchen. 2 balls and a strike.
He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's got a big-time fastball at 95 miles an hour.
He can bring it.
There's nasty and then there's filthy in terms of describing stuff. The quality of the pitches that a pitcher can deliver. This guy's been described as filthy. Need lots of base runners. The requirement for the comeback now has been doubled. It was 2-0. So he keeps that ball in back of the body for an extended period of time.
There's the ball 4. And for the second time, McCutchen walks. In case you missed it tonight around the big leagues, soreness for Joe Mauer.
Where's the soreness? That doesn't tell us enough.
The information that the Twins are releasing pretty vague. Pedro Feliciano, one capsule on the left shoulder, likely done for the year. Chase Utley ran on the field today. He's been rehabbing for 2 months.
But how's it going?
He's been taking BP. They're just taking it easy with it. And the Rockies swept a doubleheader from the Mets at 6 straight wins for Colorado. And Colorado in first place in the West, now 9. Make that 10-2.
Kind of some vague information on the in case you missed it page. Soreness where? Rehabbing. How's it doing?
Well, when we were in Philadelphia for the final 2 exhibition games prior to the start of the season, Chase Utley was in uniform. He was taking ground balls. He was taking batting practice. And a strike is called to Matt Diaz. Apparently it's the quick stop and start movements that you get a lot in baseball that are the concern for the Phillies, and they want to make sure Utley is 100%. They're still doing okay without him at this point in time. First place in the East.
Mr. Lee shut out the Washington Nationals.
Still do well without one of your stars, and no reason to rush him back.
Yeah, Mr. Halladay last night doing a job, and then Mr. Lee tonight.
Here comes the 1-2 to Matt Diaz from John Axford. And he fouled it off.
That's quite an adjustment you have to make when you're facing a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and he goes to 81 miles an hour on an off-speed pitch. At 95, you got to get that bat started pretty early. And to switch over to a swing at an off-speed pitch, takes some work to stay alive.
Diaz does stay alive.
Back to 94.
The Milwaukee a 4-0 lead. Pirates are in danger of not having scored in 2 straight games. And that is something certainly this offense does not want to have tagged on them heading into the weekend at Cincinnati. Axford's 1-2. Diaz strikes out.
Fastball and then soft. Fastball and then soft. Fastball and then soft. a split or whatever it is, soft, gets him.
Matt not happy with the swing. That ball just fell.
A dozen Pirates going down on strikes to this point.
Steve Pearce takes strike one. Well, with this infield shift, 3 on the left for Pearce, it's pretty evident who would take second base on the throw.
Yeah.
Ricky Weeks is playing right behind the bag, so
nobody else could get there in time.
No communication necessary with the shortstop here. But the whole right side is open for Pearce. He will take strike 2.
94 to 80, and that's just a tough sequence.
Lyle Overbay on deck. Overbay has one of the Pirate hits tonight. Axford 0-2. Ball 2 strikes to Pearce. Pearce hit the ball well to left his last time up, but just not well enough. Hit it out to the 383 mark. It's pretty deep out there in left center field at PNC. Ryan Braun caught up to it on the track. Pearce fouls it out of play, stays 1-2. So just got word back officially, Hanrahan was not tossed from the game, just sternly warned by home plate umpire Adrian Johnson. Pearce ready for the 1-2, and he taps it foul. Steve Pearce hoping to get one he can drive somewhere off Axford. And when you got a fastball pitcher like this, Steve, obviously bottom of the ninth, can't afford to be extremely picky, but I think you got to sit fastball, don't you?
Well, yeah, well, you have to when a guy's throwing 94, 95, 96, and then you try to adjust anything off speed. I'm guessing fastball because he's been going back and forth soft and hard. Let's see what the selection is here.
Fastball driven to center and a base hit. So Pearce ends up with a 1-out single. Moving to second is McCutchen. Pirates now with 2 on and 1 out for Overbay.
Fastball right in the middle of the plate downstairs and right past the ear of Mr. Axford. This is an interesting situation. You're in the 9th inning and you're looking for the ball to be hit over the fence, but sometimes you refer to those as rally killers because now you're still down a run and everything is settled down. You got no more base runners. So a lot of people think, well, all right, let's just string a bunch of hits together and keep the ball rolling rather than you get all your current eggs in one basket, take 3, and you're still 1 short. I'll take 3 right now.
Lyle Overbay takes a strike. Ryan Domet grabs a bat. He's out on deck. And should Overbay reach base, Ryan Domet would represent the tying run in the 9th. And Axford ready to go.
A lot of work to be done to get this thing back together and make it even more difficult for Lyle because you almost got to figure he's got to shorten up, try to find a way to put the ball in play.
No balls, 2 strikes. Overbay looking out at Axford. Runners off first and second. And this one well hit to left field, but not well enough as Braun will get underneath it. 2 down. And the Pirates down to their final out tonight. Well, Ryan Domet will bat for Chris Snyder. And Domet, the last hope for the Pirates here tonight. Rob King and Kent Tekulve getting ready for the postgame show. Is Rob using Twitter right there, Steve?
I've talked to him about that. I hope I won't have to scold him again.
It's at Root Sports Pit, by the way. It's called tweeting. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Look at that. See, Teague just finished. He's got his phone right in front of him. He just finished.
He's washing his hands.
He didn't want to get caught by he knew when the camera light came on, the tally light came on, put the phone down. Let Kinger get caught. That's what he said. Here comes the 1-0 from Axford to Ryan Doumit. And he laid off it, peeled down to third base, and Fielding Culbreth says no. 2-0. Doumit hit one last year in Milwaukee off of Trevor Hoffman with a grand slam to extend the game in the ninth. And got another one the next day off of it. In a pinch hitting role, much like this. Axford's 2-0. Doumit files it back 2-1. We go in the way back machine.
I remember watching this.
And slam, boy. This one was crushed into the upper deck at Miller Park. Game's all-time saves leader. A little disappointed. In fact, Doumit in 2 straight at-bats had home runs off of Hoffman. (2-1) to Ryan Doumit.
Trying to catch up to that mid-90s fastball.
Now the Pirates down to their final strike tonight. Clint Hurdle obviously concerned with the offense. The 2-2. Count full. So now McCutchen can break early from second base, and Pierce at first right behind him. Josh Rodriguez hoping to come up. If Doumit should reach, Rodriguez then would represent the tying run. First homestand of 2011.
Not what we had hoped for.
No. But they ran into a buzzsaw in Colorado. Might prove to be one of the best teams in baseball this year. There go the runners. Pitch inside. Ball 4. And the tying run does come to the plate. How do you like that? Doumit works the walk. And the Pirates still with life. McCutchen to third. Pierce to second. Doumit down to first.
Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, out to talk to Mr. Axford.
You just saw Ron Roenicke, longtime outfielder in the major league. Same for his brother Gary Roenicke. Ron been around in the minor leagues as a AAA manager the last several years.
Josh Rodriguez, you want to make a lot of friends in Pittsburgh?
He goes deep here. They will start calling him J-Rod. Looking for his first big league hit.
How about a line double to left center field and let everybody run around for a while?
Bases full of buccos right here. 2 down, bottom of the ninth. And Rodriguez takes strike 1.
Josh Rodriguez has not seen much of this kind of stuff. On occasion, coming up through the minor leagues, playing pro ball, but it's a test. It's a challenge.
He scored the winning run in the bottom of the 14th Friday night against the Rockies. Swing and a miss, and again the Pirates down to their final strike. McCutchen is at third base. Pierce at second. Ryan Doumit, drawing the 2-out walk, is at first. Josh Rodriguez down to his last strike. Pirates with the tying run at the plate at the bottom of the ninth. 2 down, 2 strikes. This gets away, and here comes McCutchen. He'll score. They pick him off one at a time. It's now 4-1. It's the first run the Pirates have scored since the bottom of the 4th against the Rockies. In the final game against the Rockies.
You can't really say it's been an offensive outburst with a couple of walks and a wild pitch around the base hit, but Pirates are still out there.
2 men in scoring position for Rodriguez. Axford's 1-2. And he struck him out, and that's the game. So, Pirates get the tying run to the plate, but can't cash in. They avoid being shut out. And a dismal homestand, honestly, and the Pirates trying to pick things up as they go out on the road. 4-1, the final.
Yeah, not much fun, and you can say all you want about the pitching, but Paul Maholm was terrific tonight. Just no offense, and you can't